It is September. No, it's October 5th, 2020. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. There it is. Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic. It wasn't as much. Wasn't as impactful as a can is. What are you drinking on tonight, Dan? We got a Bex.
I'm drinking a Dinkel Arca. I know, some German pills.
Okay. I found this stuff when we were up in Boone, North Carolina this weekend. Got this stuff Virgil's. Have you ever had Virgil's?
Oh, no, I've not.
So it's good. It's like it's zero sugar vanilla cream soda, and they use erythritol they use sugar alcohols instead of aspartame or sucralose or even stevia. Yeah, zithromycin. Yeah, Greg Fraser knows what I'm talking about. Virgil's is good. See, I do the diet soda, and it's yes, this is brought to you by Virgil's from a gas station up in the mountains.
Nice. I've never been like a big cream soda guy. I've just never really been exposed to it much. But that's good.
It's good. It's good stuff, though. The only problem, though, is some people know sugar alcohols in mass quantities not good on your stomach. Yeah,
no, they're not. No, they're not at all.
Turn your bedroom into a venerable fart den. I am Tim Herb, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Dan James, to my right tonight.
Hello.
We are without the lovely Kevin Bradley tonight because he is he's out being a super golf player. He's playing East Lake and living his best life, I guess. Thank you guys.
I guess he's elevated past us now. He's on a whole new.
He's on a different plane. Yeah.
A whole new social level.
Yeah. I don't like it though.
No.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. Thank you guys for tuning in on this lovely Monday evening in Atlanta. And if you guys are watching us live on YouTube, thank you. And make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, the notification bell icon, smash the like button. Make sure that everybody gets subscribed and gets the notifications whenever we go live. So,
yep. I just want to call Kendra Brock out, as always joined by Dan, more like a handful of times a year. Well, excuse me, sir. I've actually been on here a lot more times, and probably more times than Kevin this year.
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
It's very true. Dan is now the tried and true. He is the tried and true. And he probably would be on here more if I didn't have to skip a couple weeks too. So
it's okay. I'm on vacation next week, so.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm just going to the beach.
Nice. Just the beach.
Just the beach.
Look at you. Like Kevin playing East Lake, you like just kind of casually throwing out a beach vacation. I don't know where I fit in anymore. This is great. But thank you guys. We got Kendrick Brock, Andy Watkins, Brittany S., Elliot Beaven, Greg Fraser, Brian, and Patrick Keenum. Yeah, it's see, Brittany S. says she loves cream soda. Cream soda is good, Dan.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just not as familiar with it.
See, like growing up, military kid, my parents would go to the commissary. My mom would get Shasta soda, but like the two, like she'd get like a 24 pack of like Shasta root beer or cream soda, and that was my jam. I can't find Shasta soda anywhere anymore. I don't know if it still exists. Does anybody know where I can get Shasta?
Never heard.
I don't know. Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah, exactly. What about, speaking of niche sodas like Virgil's, before we completely go off of this topic, it's a good night. We're in good spirits after Saturday. What have you ever had Blenheim ginger ale?
No.
Are you a ginger ale guy?
So
ginger beer, ginger ale guy?
Yeah, I'll drink ginger ale. I put some ginger beer in my dark and stormies every now and then. But I like the Blunderberg stuff. That's pretty good.
So we moved to South Carolina in 1999, and we were in Sumter, like Shaw Air Force Base, like smack in the middle of South Carolina. And there's this little, I don't know what you call it. You call it a ginger ale brewery? I don't know. You like a soda canning, bottling, I guess, soda bottling company called, it's in Blenheim, South Carolina, near
right,
like Fayetteville, North Carolina, kind of around that area. And they had the cheesiest commercials with these hillbillies, and there's Blenheim ginger ale. Like we used to make fun of it all the time. It was like, but then as I got older, like I found it, they sell it in world markets sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But I got some of their diet ginger ale a couple weeks ago whenever we were up in North Carolina, and that shit is delicious. It does make you like, it's very spicy. So they have a couple.
Oh really?
And I mean legit, like I mean spicy, not like carbonated. I mean like,
right.
Actually,
like
it has crazy bite to it, and that's not even. They have a hot flavor too. That's like super spicy that they have. It's good shit though. It's fantastic. What is everybody's favorite like niche soda? Like when you guys go to a gas station in the Trap, just for fun, what is your go-to drink whenever you go to the gas station? Dan, what is your go-to drink whenever you get to the gas station?
So being diabetic, I'm very boring. So
like a 22 of Ice House, right?
20 exactly, or like a steel reserve,
or Cobra,
like
maybe
that.
a King Cobra. Yeah,
that's right. No, I usually get like smart water, like sparkling water. I've been going to more like sparkling water, so I like that they're doing the 16-ounce size of the Ahas.
Those are good, and then their same price as the 12-ounce of Bubblies.
Right.
Yeah.
Bubbly.
You get that little caffeine with the green citrus and or green tea citrus one. That shit is good. But it'll catch up to you pretty quickly too.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, like probably when I was about 10 years old, Tab Clear came over to the UK, and I loved me some Tab Clear. It was amazing.
I don't think we got that in the States.
Really? I think you did.
So Tab
but
came
everyone
out.
Hated it.
Yeah, Tab was out in the 70s. Like I remember this pretty specifically. Like I feel like Tab made I'm going to use, for the people who are listening, air quotes, a resurgence like in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I remember my parents seeing it on the shelves and being like, why is that back? Like it was like, I've never had it before. So I have no idea what it tastes like or have any reference. Like, is it a cola?
Yeah, it just tasted like Coke, but it looked like Sprite. That's basically it.
Gross. Yeah, gross. No, thank you. Patrick Keenum says Sundrop is the greatest niche soda, but Blenheim is great.
So I'm sorry, Tim, but Michelle makes a great point. Tango, you've been tangoed. Yes, Michelle, I remember Tango. And Tango, I think it was Tango Grape, made the best advert ever made. You can go look it up on YouTube. It's about this guy in an office jacket, and he's walking through his office and said, here at the HQ of Tango, we've been receiving many criticisms about our latest marketing campaign. And basically he ends up taking off his suit, walking down to the street, a whole bunch of people sort of pile behind him, and he's getting more amped and like telling people he's going to take them on. And he ends up putting on these boxing shorts, gets to a boxing ring on the cliffs of Dover, and the camera pans up. There's all these people around him. Some Harrier jump jets come up behind him, and he's like, "Come on, Britain! Come on, France!" It's so awesome. You need to Google that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, definitely do that.
That's one thing that the UK has got hands down over America, including Super Bowl ads. The UK has the funniest adverts in the entire world, and they're so much better than the US adverts.
I was only over there for like 8 days in Camden, and whenever I was watching all the reruns of really bad American sitcoms that would come on every channel at night, all of the advertisements for the candies, oh my God, it was the same Maltesers ad every like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It was so I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely in their own category. I'd say that. Yeah. Those junk food advertisements. Kendrick Brock says Rooster Booster from QT. It is the only energy drink I know of that you can get at the fountain, which is dangerous. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's probably got actual cocaine in it.
Yeah. Brittany S says Dr. Pepper and cream soda or an iced coffee. That's a good call. Richard Gordon saying Crystal Pepsi. I don't think we could still find that, but Greg Fraser says Boylan's Black Cherry Cola. Michelle obviously said Tango. Elliot Bevan said Fanta. And then the last thing I will call out what Brian says. He says, I remember that SNL sketch with Crystal Peanut Butter. I don't know if you remember that, but it was pretty great. I'm pretty sure it was to a Van Halen song, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
Yeah, but they're like sitting there trying to drink it, and it's just like coming out in clear globs out of the jar. It was pretty great. Anyway,
Awesome.
on to the game.
I know. Who would have thought? What was it? 4-1 at halftime. I mean, it was just.
Oh
incredible.
my God! I buy. I'm so glad I didn't get to. We were driving back from North Carolina yesterday, and I missed the entire game. Thank God. The Liverpool Aston Villa game.
I mean,
but Villa are perfect on the year, and they have the highest goal differential in the league. So for right now, relatively speaking, I'm going to say it's not as bad as it seems.
Well, I feel like we're early in the season, and hopefully Villa will go back, return back to the mean, and be fighting for relegation again.
Yeah,
but I'm
sure Richard Gordon would be happy for you guys are enemy of my enemy, right?
Oh, right,
yeah. Wolves in Birmingham City. Yeah, so the game on Saturday, holy crap.
So, Tim, how do you feel after a win? Because I didn't think we were honestly going to see any wins for the rest of the season. I was not putting any hope into it. So how did you feel, and how much does this solve in terms of Atlanta United problems?
So first, I want to apologize that the audio from the last episode still hasn't made it up onto the podcatchers, because between Kevin and me with the division of labor and us both being busy with work, we didn't get it up. But I believe I was the only one last week who said we were going to win against DC United. Am I wrong?
Probably. I think I went for a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw or something.
I'm pretty sure I said we would win 2-0. I don't know. Somebody call me out on that. If not, that's what I was thinking, and whatever, believe me or not. But I know DC is a bad team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over the past few weeks, for some of the bad that we've seen with Atlanta United, I think there has been a lot. Like, we talked about John Gallagher and how big of a spark he's been for this team since he came into playing with the senior club. And then some of the stuff that we saw the week prior, Adam John, his chances getting thwarted. If, who was it? If Bobby Shuttleworth wasn't, standing on his head during that game, Adam John gets a brace. So you were starting to see him get more comfortable. You were seeing John Gallagher and George Bellows starting to get more comfortable on that left side. And then I think the unsung hero of this season so far, and the signing of the season for us for sure, has been Brooks Lennon. He has been, for a while, he had played every single minute for the team since the restart. And I want to say he sat maybe one game and maybe a little bit of time, but damn, did he look good on Saturday. And honestly, I don't know how much pressure he would have felt during that game, especially Julian Gressel didn't start for DC United. But knowing all the chatter, I'm sure he sees it or he hears it at some point. There's got to be comparisons, some sort of pressure laid upon that guy's shoulders that, he's got big shoes to fill. And as we've seen with this team, people who come successors of successful people with this team have a really tough time with this fan base. And I think that hopefully anybody that had any sort of doubt about his skill level comparatively to Julian Gressel on Saturday night, hopefully your mind was completely changed, because the thing was, okay, he's fast. Okay, he's faster than Julian Gressel. Fine. He's a better defender than Julian Gressel, which was, I think, the biggest knock against Gressel whenever he was here is, whenever he's trying to get deployed as a right back or right wing back, is he would get caught in defensive situations pretty badly sometimes.
Right.
But then, the knock was, well, it seems like Brooks Lennon doesn't know what he's doing crossing the ball. And I would say over the past couple of weeks, hopefully your mind has changed by that, because his crosses have been early. They have been on target, obviously. And he puts a good bit of pace on them too. I feel like he is a player that's coming into his own, and he has a partner on the left side of the field who is doing the same thing. And you have two dangerous guys going up the wings. It gives me a little bit of hope. I mean, I think, and I'll come back to you in a second, Dan. I'm talking.
Good, man.
Yeah. just talking and talking and talking. But when you're asking about like what what questions are answered moving forward, knowing our like limitations in the roster moving forward for the rest of the year, meaning essentially Adam John is our striker for the rest of the year, right? Kubo Torres is most likely going to miss.
He's done, isn't he?
Yeah, if not the whole season, then at least a while. Joseph's obviously gone. So, we talked about this team having to cope with having, a target man. And I feel like our play and the fact that we have two pacey wingers in Brooks Lennon and John Gallagher who can go up the wings and whip crosses in or have interplay with their counterparts on those sides, I think is really feeding into an attacking identity that we might see continue throughout the rest of the year. It might be a little hit or miss, but I feel like Adam John is coming into his own as well, and his ability to hold up play, not only that back heel that he had to Emerson Hyndman. That was fantastic. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time lately, and I feel like his touches are good, his control is good, his hold up play has been pretty good, and I feel obviously DC is not a good team, but I feel, and the fact that Ben Olsen still has a job, right, which is kind of crazy to me, but
you and Doug Robertson.
Yeah, I feel like moving forward, I feel like this team is a little less dismal in their prospects than they were, say, a week ago. And it's obviously like, what have you done for me lately? And, being a victim of the moment. But I don't know. Like, I saw some stuff come to fruition this past weekend that I've been waiting for since the restart.
Yeah. So I feel like our wings have always been pretty decent throughout the garbage season that we've seen. It's just been, our center has been so bad that they've just been, it kind of just all implodes on itself. One thing I really liked about seeing John Gallagher against DC is he was playing a lot more on the left. So if you can have a Bello and Gallagher left pairing and the Brooks Lennon, Jurgen Damm when he's fit on the right, you've got so much speed on those wings. And then you've got Moroney off the bench who can also add to that speed. Hopefully either side. I know he's more of a left-sided player, but it does fill me with a. I want to be really cautious because we play Orlando next, and they have been just killing it. So when we play. That's going to be a real litmus test. But, winning breeds winning. The only way to build confidence is winning. And I just hope that this team can move it forward with that momentum. Because we had that momentum when we drew Orlando, and then we just fell on our ass when we played, was it Nashville or was it Inter Miami? Anyway, we didn't carry that momentum forward. We just let it kind of evaporate. So I'm really hoping we can do that on Wednesday. It's a quick turnaround, but that's what I'm looking forward to see. I feel like one thing that's the third goal for us, John Gallagher's goal, was just great. It was, it was a perfect team goal. So I'm all about those. I love team goals. The interplay between Hyndman, who played a pretty big role in that goal, and the back heel from John. But it was more so the grace in which Gallagher was able to slip it. I mean, I feel like it was going to go in, even if I think it was Moreno who actually bundled it into the goal for DC. But it reminded me a lot of Joseph Martinez's goal against Chicago back in 2017, where he just cuts it in from a real obtuse angle.
Yeah.
And just the way John Gallagher did it reminded me a lot of Joseph in that sense. Now, I'm not saying he is like the Joseph Martinez replacement, but it was that sort of technical ability and that sort of attacking nous that we have seen from Martinez that we haven't seen on a front line before. I mean, Pitti hasn't done it. Barco hasn't done it. But John Gallagher does. So it's really interesting to see how he develops and how other teams do teams now look to deal with him, or do they still just sit on yarn and see what we can do? The other thing is DC gave us so much space. We could play the ball all day through the middle, up the wing. They were really, really bad, and they didn't bunker. When we've played DC in the past, they've mostly bunkered, and they didn't do that at all. They just stretched out and let us pass around them. So anyway, I was very, like you said, Brooks Lennon was fantastic. So I feel like the other two talking points for this, Tim, is the Russell illegal sub Canals and the Assad the Assad non-red card call.
So at full time, it should have been 11v8.
Yeah.
Right? No, I mean, what's really interesting to me is I feel like they're...
So you're saying 3 should have got sent off?
Right, because Briant got sent off.
Right, Briant got sent off.
He got that red card for the denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then Yamil Assad, I think Michelle said it in the trap. And you know what? I've been somebody who is wanting Assad to return over the past couple of years. She says, I don't want to hear anyone say they miss Assad anymore, especially after that vicious tackle on Lennon. Like, there's no place in the game for that. Mm-hmm. It was kind of beyond the pale, in my opinion, the way that he went after Brooks Lennon. And it's like beyond cynical, the way that he tackled Lennon. The fact that he didn't get sent off is... And they can't if it's anything like EPL, right? There was a card given, so they can't retroactively go and upgrade it, right?
Right. I mean, he can get fined.
Well, that's good. Like, hopefully he gets fined a lot of money.
Well, but they don't fine opposing players when they're physically abusive to Atlanta United players.
Oh, that's true.
So
forgot about that. What's his name? Figal with the elbows.
Mm-hmm. And I'll go say it again, was it Carlos Antonio with Orlando when he kicked Brooks Lennon in the face? I'm still sour about that one.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Kevin Escobar. Do refs think they can only use cards once a game? I think so. I think that's what it is. The illegal substitution thing to me was it was kind of mind blowing, because my first thought was, and I'm not somebody who knows the rule book, but like backwards and forwards. But my initial thought was, oh shit, I think the most recent examples of that I can think of have been retroactive punishment that's been laid upon a team for subbing or putting an illegal player in the 18 or subbing a player into the game. And it's been a forfeit. If not, then also, a penalty of points on their record afterwards. Like, I've seen teams either get, completely disqualified from tournaments if they won a game with an illegal substitution or illegal man on the 23 or the 18-man roster. Seen points get taken away from teams whenever they do that. My initial thought was they're gonna have to forfeit it, right? Like, that to me is like, I don't know. I didn't know what to think there. Again, I don't know the rule book backwards and forwards. It seems like nobody does, even pro and MLS. So like Stephen Glass is arguing with the 16-year-old kid who was reffing our game on Saturday night. He's like, well, what is the league saying? He said, well, no, I just talked to pro and they're saying it's the fact that there wasn't even any punishment, right? Did they even dock them a substitution?
No, I don't think they did.
So it was like a 4-minute stretch from the 40s. Yeah. It's like from the 46th to the 49th or 50th minute, Russell Canals was never in the game. He doesn't exist.
Right.
He's got to go back to the locker room.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to have a one rule fits all for this one because it's really, really weird. And I mean, I feel like it's weird throwing a game away or forfeiting a game over 4 minutes of play. I mean, and it's a clerical error, it's not like it's not like something really happened in the match. It's like someone just didn't write his name on a piece of paper, which is really dumb. But it has real world consequences. I feel like in this case, you kind of have to take it case by case. Like if he had really had an impact on the game, I don't think he had. Then you have to do something more severe. But as he didn't really have an impact, I mean, nobody really even noticed him doing anything. But if but to the counterpoint to that is, if he had scored a goal or if he had like broken someone's leg, there's a much more serious discussion that you've got to have with it. So part of me thinks it's kind of weird, but I feel like there's a line that you've got to draw with this, and it's just it's really dumb.
Yeah, but in Michelle saying that she thought that they got docked because they only used 4 subs, which to me really isn't that much of a dock, right? Because you sub in Knaus and then you sub him out and put somebody else back in, and you still have 3 more subs to use after that. It seems a little. I don't.
Oh yeah, I think Michelle's right. Yeah, because they only got 4 in. Yeah, good catch, Michelle. Good catch.
What I don't know, man. I get it. And not everything's letter of the law, everything's contextual, but and to Brittany S's point, it ended up wasting an extra 10 minutes of time.
Yeah.
We ended up getting 9 minutes of stoppage, which was pretty short, because I want to say it was 10 minutes from whenever the discussion started to whenever they finally, put the ball back in play. It was, it's just weird to me. Part of me feels like there have to be some real world, real world consequences, right? Like I fudge something on my taxes, even if it's out of ignorance, I'm going to get penalized, right? Or like unknowingly do something, you get penalized for. There should be real world consequences. The fact that Ben Olsen didn't get any sort of discipline either, when he's like, what do you want me to just fucking forfeit you want me to fucking forfeit the game? Like, he's just,
yeah,
kind of off his rocker at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because we've got a game on Wednesday and my guys could get some more rest, you know?
Yeah, no kidding. I can use 3 points, a morale boost, but fuck them, because we ended up putting another 2 goals on them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Pro needs to get their head out of the sand. I don't, again, people have been saying it for a while, and even just like the illegal sub aside, Yamil Assad's foul, the fact that wasn't even reviewed for a red card is crazy to me.
You would think he would get retroactively suspended for that. But
yeah, that is violent conduct.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of, I don't agree with it. It was reckless, but that's just, that's the Yamil Assad we saw in Atlanta too. I think it was someone Toronto. He elbowed them in the face for like no reason at all. I think there was another time he got red carded for something. That was in addition to getting red carded in the Minnesota game in Atlanta. But that was just Yamil Assad. I get it. But he didn't look great. I didn't think he was played that well.
No, the porcupine. I
didn't see. It was weird. Like, we had a free kick outside their area and they were building the wall, and Assad was in it and Gressel was in it. And it was just like, it's kind of like how I imagine kids see their divorced parents. Like, they're kind of like better analogy. When you see a teacher who you've gone to school with and they've kind of gone off the rails and lost their career, and you kind of see them out like in a bar or something, and you're like, oh, this is really weird. And they didn't look happy. They looked just so exasperated with the situation. But it's like, hey, this is what you wanted.
Yeah, money doesn't buy you happiness. Is that what you're saying, Dan? I don't. Well, I mean,
it's their careers. I'm not going to fault them for trying to get money and trying to get paid.
Yeah,
but it was just like weird.
Well, you're saying Julian Gressel, comparing him to a teacher who lost, went off the rails in their career. If you were to tell me a week ago, reading Twitter, I would have thought Julian Gressel was like an MVP candidate, the way people talk about him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love Julian Gressel in Atlanta. I think when he left, I like direct messaged him and said, "I'm really sad that you're leaving, but happy that you're getting, you're getting what you want. You're getting paid." And I've never done that before, which is really weird. And I loved him in Atlanta, but I hate seeing him in DC. I worry that he's not going to perform up to what they're expecting from him, and it's just going to further circle the drain. Not that it's circling the drain yet, because it's only been a few games and it's 2020. So anyway, it just didn't look good. It didn't look like they were having fun.
No, not at all. And on the contrary, it's the first time I feel like we've seen Atlanta United having fun in a while.
Yes, I agree with that.
What do you make of, as the Parceros call him, the Invisible Man, Emerson Hyndman's game this past Saturday?
I thought he was actually pretty good. So I've been trying to consciously look at what Hyndman's doing on the field. Here, hold on. Let me go. I'm trying to look up his rating on Who Scored, but I've gone into some sort of weird.
They gave him a 7.3, which compared to Brooks Lennon and his 10 out of 10, which I've never seen on that site before.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I thought Hyndman played a much better game. I think he's been getting progressively better as time goes on. I think he's got a high ceiling, but it's just getting it doesn't seem like he seems like a quiet guy, and he's not going to be a guy who will just step up and say, "Hey, everyone follow me. This is what we need to do." He's more of a supporting cast member who's going to want to play off someone else. So, which is, I think he has potential, what we've seen in the past, like in the Campeones Cup game. I think he definitely has the ability to do that. But I'm hoping that with Marcelino Moreno coming in, he can actually act as more of a mentor to Emerson Hyndman. I'm a little bit worried. Well, actually, I'm not worried about it, but I mean, that's a good competitive spot for Hyndman to have to compete against, and really we'll see his true value if he's going to be able to really put on the performances that he should be putting in, getting paid the amount of money that he is relative to the team.
Yeah, definitely more comfortable and confident on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing. Like, you talk about him being a quiet person. I feel like he definitely is not a very assertive person on the field. And I think that his demeanor, I think he kind of wears that too. I feel like sometimes you can tell he's kind of down in the dumps, or he's not, like, I feel like he gets into his own head, because I think he's a skillful player. And we've talked about that before. I think his confidence hopefully is going to start rising. Because I can see him, especially still a young player. He's only 24 years old. Like, I could see him, I could see him like getting a little too into his head. Hopefully he can get out of that. It was an interesting midfield, though. I mean, you're looking at Mo Adams, you're looking at Emerson Hyndman, and kind of an unsung midfield, if you think about it, and Jeff Lorenowitz. And I felt like they played a good game between the three of them.
Yeah, I did think they played a good game between three of them. Wow, I didn't realize was Adams really playing that high up?
I don't think he was. I think that's probably just the lineup map or whatever. I don't think that's the actual heat map.
No, he was playing more in their half. That is interesting. Yeah, it was, to Elliot Beavan's point, was probably his best game this season. He's been. I'm surprised that he was brought in for a game. It must have just been because of the injuries that we've had with Rossetto out, and having some rotation.
Still.
Oh, is he still play for?
I don't fucking know.
Well, let's get back to that. But Mo Adams played a pretty good game. He there was a couple of times where he was able to link up the play in the opponent's half, in DC's half, and help recycle some efforts that we're trying to get back in. I was impressed with him. I think he did what he needed to do. Be interested to see who, if he gets a start again against Orlando. It depends on who's ready to go. Because Rossetto wasn't even in the 18, was he?
No, he wasn't. I think he was. I want to say Stephen Glass said today that he was the one of the 4 players that he mentioned that was never going to make the team or never going to travel or something like that.
Gotcha.
So, I do want to say I agree with Chiefs coach Steve saying hearing Glassy in the technical area is huge entertainment. It's pretty great. I think Fox. I know they're probably going to get hit with some FCC fines. Actually, I don't know if they get hit with FCC fines if it's inadvertent, like if it's not one of their personnel that speaks it into the microphone. I don't know. Right. It'd be interesting to find out. But yes, it definitely makes the game a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, part of me hopes that they just stop the crowd noise, and so we can just listen to them, because it does kind of seem weird. Yeah,
for sure. So what going back to this midfield, you're talking about a midfield that doesn't seem very creative, one, adventurous, two. Do you think that is because, or maybe do you think they were played and he fielded that midfield who's essentially, like, you're talking about 2 defensive midfielders by trade, and Jeff Lorenowitz and Mo Adams, and then Emerson Hyndman, who's more of a kind of a box 8, less, I guess, creative midfielder, and more of a I don't know, what do you even say, a possessive midfielder. Is that midfield being played to free up the guys on the wings, or is it like kind of an inverted thing? Like, is it because they're playing out of those wings, we have to play some more defensive-minded people that clog the midfield? Like, I'm just trying to think of the reasoning behind that, and like, are we, again, like to your point, will we see Mo Adams and maybe see that same midfield 3 down in Orlando on Wednesday? Or are we playing here? I can't remember.
We are playing. Oh, I have my schedule. There it is.
Oh, it's at home. Never mind.
It's at home. So I think I would really be interested to see how Remedi would have got on in this midfield. Part of me kind of hopes that even though it's a quick turnaround, you play Adams, Jeff, and Hyndman again, even though we're playing Orlando. Because, I mean, just to see how they stack up against a very good opposition, because Remedi has just not been great. I mean, he was benched. I'm not sure if he was benched just because of the amount of games he's played or for performance reasons, but I would like to see him on the bench again when we play Orlando, and see how these 3 can coalesce a little more and give them some time, because that's been the other thing. You know, we've had so many games, it's been hard to keep a midfield 3 together. And the nice thing about Adams having him up front is he's more of a physical player. And Orlando are a very tricky team in that they showed against the Red Bulls, they can soak up all sorts of pressure. And they've got some big front guys. So you're hoping that you can potentially match some of that physicality up with an Adams to see if that can help break them down. I'm really nervous about playing Orlando. I think it's going to be almost
too, but at the same time, like when we went down there most recently, we contained them and then ended up stealing 2 points at the end of the game. I don't know. I'm not afraid of the big bad wolf. And part of it, I think, is due to the fact that if I'm Stephen Glass, I have like a nothing to lose mentality. But to your point, I mean, we've seen, when we talked about this last week, we've seen so many different iterations of this lineup. I want to see the same lineup on the field on Wednesday. Hands down. Like, I want to see the exact same lineup to see if they can reproduce, because I want to see them, like, is DC the control or of the experiment or not? I mean, are they an aberration in that, that 4-0 thrashing that we gave them? Are they really just that bad? Did things come, did everything kind of come together as it should that night? Or are we starting to turn the corner? And I mean, Wednesday, if we play that same 11 and see how we do, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I like our chances to at least get a draw. Pierce Hicks says Orlando will let us break on them. I'm guessing he means on the counter.
I mean, I feel like Orlando will let us break on them, but Orlando will also move deeper to counteract what you're trying to do when you move forward. Like DC did not do that. DC would, when you see, I love seeing opposing teams bring 3 strikers onto Guzan when we're trying to play out the back. That's 3 guys you're putting completely out of play. And Orlando's not going to do that. They may run 1 or 2, but they're not going to put 3 guys up there. But then they're gonna stagger back and give ground when they need to, so they can keep in their shape. The thing that worries me is because they were able to handle Red Bulls so easily, and we've had an absolute chronic problem with Red Bulls in the past. Like, I don't think we haven't beaten them in the regular season, only when it matters. So, and Orlando, they haven't. The last time they lost was 10 games ago, and that was that weird game against Inter Miami. So, I think that I don't see us beating Orlando at all. I think it potentially could be another bloodbath. but
again, nobody saw us taking a point down in Orlando either.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, what was it, 3-1 Orlando beat Red Bulls by on Saturday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, that Red Bulls team is kind of in disarray too.
Yeah.
I mean, they fired Chris Armas. They're not their best selves. I feel like are probably throwing out the rest of the season right now. So I don't know. I still, Orlando's got to do it for longer for me to give them more respect. I'm sorry. Like, I've just seen it time and time again, and I can't help but feel like this is how Patriots fans felt about us Colts fans, right? It's like, beat us when it matters, and and continue to do it when it matters, and then maybe you'll get the respect that you deserve. Make the playoffs, and maybe I'll start fearing your team. I say that, but earlier on I was a little afraid going down there. But I think after we took a point from them and stole that point, and I mean, I don't know if Adam John's able to get a goal away in Orlando, maybe he can get one at home. And we're not playing with John Gallagher, if I'm not mistaken, in that game.
We're not? I
said back whenever we played Orlando in Orlando, I don't think that he hadn't reached his final form, at least. I feel like John Gallagher has gone Super Saiyan.
So John Gallagher did not play in Orlando. Oh, no, he did. He subbed on in the 84th minute, but that's the 84th minute. So he did not play, really. So, yeah, they haven't seen John Gallagher. Who else didn't they see? Did they see Jurgen Dahm? Not that he's really done that much because he's been injured.
No, they didn't. Like, the team that we fielded was, I mean, granted we had Barco, but we had Kubo Torres, Heinemann, Lorenowitz, Rometty, George Bello, Walks, Robinson, and Escobar. So the same back line that we played against DC, but Rometty instead of Adams. And then we had Barco, but we didn't have Gallagher, and we didn't have Adam John either. Until the end of the game. Adam John came in and obviously scored that goal to tie it. But. Yeah.
But to your point, I think Adam John is getting he's getting more comfortable. I kind of feel like he's understanding a little bit more that he's got to move a little bit more to get more opportunities. But his hold-up play has been fantastic.
I wanted to go to this. Pierce Hicks' comment. He says, off topic, now that Indy 11 season is over, is Andrew Carlton coming back into the squad? Like, how soon can they recall him? If the season is over, it was a full season loan, is he able to come back into the fold?
No, I think he's done he's not. So let me go check the He is unavailable. So he's on loan. He's going to be unavailable for the season.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Plus, we're not going to have a senior roster spot unless he's eligible for a.
He's a homegrown player.
He may be eligible for a supplemental spot. I'd be surprised if he comes in. I don't think they can do that since it's a an air quotes season-long loan. So it's thinking that the season's going to end at the same time. So,
and then a question in that same vein: the form that Jackson Conway's in, is he in the fact that we have pretty much no backup striker? Is Jackson Conway eligible to come up into the team?
Again, he's been on. Well, he's an Atlanta United 2 player.
Like, can he sign a senior contract and come in?
I think he would sign a supplemental. He would take up a supplemental spot.
I don't know how any of this shit works, Dan.
Well, he wouldn't be. There's no senior spots. You can only have 20 of those, and those are going to be all filled with Moreno coming in. But we do have like 2. So the supplemental spots are split up into.
And Gregory Fraser, I guess, has corrected me. I guess he hadn't played since March, Jackson Conway, before he scored an absolute belter on Saturday. Is that right? No,
he's been playing.
That's what I was going to say. I thought he's been playing. Oh, he's talking about Moreno. Okay. I was going to say,
right,
I swear I've seen Jackson Conway playing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Making me feel, gaslighting me, Greg.
I don't know.
Inadvertently letting me read your comment wrong.
I'm not sure if Conway could sign a contract because I think their season is over. But I mean, 2020 can brings up.
Well, I mean, I don't. So that it's like
the thing is, isn't our backup striker going to be John Gallagher?
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, like, why are the rules different for EPL than they are for Inter MLS or USL and MLS? Because we signed Brad Guzan on a free, and he played out the rest of the season for Middlesbrough.
Oh, good.
And then as soon as he finished out his contract, he came and played for us. So there was no big like gap. We had to wait for the transfer window to open, but the transfer window's open. So
I think it just closed today. I think
international did, like European did, right? I think MLS transfer window, if I'm not mistaken, is open till the end of the month. I may be wrong. I often am, but if that's the case, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to bring Carlton back or bring, like, to me, Carlton should be an MLS player, but or like an Atlanta United senior player right now, but
So the window's open till the 29th in MLS. Good
okay,
catch,
I thought so. So, like,
you're exactly right. Why? Yeah, then to your point, I think Conway would absolutely be eligible if we want to bring him in. It's just making sure that we can get the cap, not the cap, the roster composition correct.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's like I don't know. It sucks for Brooks Lennon, the crazy, beautiful goal that he put on Saturday, because it wasn't the best goal that we saw from an Atlanta United player this weekend, because Jackson Conway's goal was just an absolute like scream. Like, it was so beautiful. You watch that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It gives you hope, right? He's definitely going to be a senior player next year, right?
Yeah, I think the only stumbling block in his way is what he wants to do and whether he feels himself confident to take that next step. I mean, he passes the eye test.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm hoping that can come to fruition, but we shall see. Okay,
so going into Wednesday, we've already kind of talked about it. How are you feeling going into that game? I mean, what's Orlando's current run? I feel like they haven't lost in a while.
Yeah, so they lost, like, I think it was the 22nd of August, the last time they lost against Inter Miami. And then they've beaten Nashville 3-1. They beat us 3-1. They drew with Nashville 1-1. They drew with us 1-1. Then they beat Inter Miami 2-1, Chicago 4-1. Sporting KC 2-1, drew 0-0 with Dallas, and then just beat Red Bulls 3-1. So they have very, very good form right now. And they should all be on the up and up. They've got a quick turnaround too. And with the lineup they put out, I mean, they put all their stars in. Nani was playing, Pereira, DK, Mueller. They played a first-rate squad. So I'm assuming there would be some sort of rotation. And that's kind of, I mean, that's the thing, that their bench isn't as deep as some of the other teams. But their first choice is very, very competent.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, they have decent. I say decent. I mean, they have Benji Michel coming off the bench on Saturday, and that's a nice luxury. Even though the rest of the bench might not be as deep, he's a pretty dangerous player. Creates pretty well, and he can definitely put a goal in the back of the net. So,
and they'll probably start. They didn't start. Was it Antonio Carlos? Yeah, Antonio Carlos. They didn't start him, so I'm sure he'll be coming in.
Yeah. You would think so, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably going to be, I guess the front four would be unchanged, even though Nani played 90 minutes. It's going to be DK, Mueller, Pereira, and Nani as their front four. And then they didn't play Yuri Rizal. He wasn't even on the bench. Interesting. Wonder where he's gone. Rizal and maybe Junior Urso again, because Urso got subbed out. And they've got Miller. Jansen played a 90, but that's okay. Carlos Antonio will play Schlegel, I'm assuming. And then Ruan, he didn't play either. And was not on the bench. Is he injured? Not sure, but I would assume I'd see him at right back if he is not injured.
I don't think we see Nani on Wednesday, at least in a starting capacity, right? Same thing happened last time we played them midweek, right? And he didn't start in that game.
Right. So who's his sub? Is that Michelle?
Yeah, that'd be Benji Michel. So you'd see Michel, Pereira, Mueller, and DK probably up front.
Man, DK, he's a beast, man. He reminds me of Lukaku.
He's a big boy, but he's also like nimble, right? And he's
right. Just like Lukaku.
Yeah. He's impressive. I think he's going to be, if he doesn't get moved, I think for the next couple of years, he's going to be a really good player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe Mo Adams can deal with him. Yeah.
I mean, do you mark him out in this situation? The old Eric Remedi playoff strategy that we had going to the cup.
Yeah, you could do. Speaking of marking, I noticed we've reverted to the zonal marking
which you're not a fan of, right?
No, I'm not. And neither's Dan Gargan. So, and it doesn't make sense anyway, because if you're
just zonal marking,
no, because I feel like you can't react as fast. You're not anticipating what's going to happen when you're zonal marking. When you're man marking, you're anticipating, and you guys have got a plan. So I feel like you can anticipate what's going to happen better if you know, okay, I'm going to follow him. If he jumps, I'm jumping. It gives you more focus and narrows down your scope, rather than having a large area to cover and potentially covering 2 to 3 people. So no, I'm not a fan of zonal marking.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Do you think Mesa starts, or are you gonna have Walks back on? Because I feel like you want Robinson to deal with DK.
No, for sure. I was starting to think that the impact that Fernando Meza had once he came back from injury really shored up the defense. But we saw on Saturday Anton Walks came in, and granted, again, it's not the biggest litmus test in DC, but they played well together. And if Meza is is Mesa hurt? Like, is he coming off of another knock?
So he had that knee injury, and I think they were just kind of being conservative about him bringing him back in after that.
I wouldn't want to see him then. Like, if he didn't make, I want to say he didn't make the 18. Yeah?
He did. He was on the bench. He just
he was
didn't
okay.
come on.
I would say just throw walks out there. I mean, bring, if there's an issue, then bring Mesa in, around halftime or something. But I mean, I'd say no. I want to see the exact same lineup, Dan. I said it before. Like, I want to see the exact same lineup going into this game.
I mean, you might as well. I think so. That's a good point. Sorry, completely off topic, but Gregory Fraser's comment for 2021, having Lopez, Gallagher, and Conway as forward depth behind Joseph is pretty nice. That is a very good point. I forgot about Eric Lopez.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wonder if and when we see him at all the rest of the season.
I don't think we do.
You don't think so? Because, I mean, he's a senior player. He's been training with the team, right?
He has, I think, but isn't, because Carlos Bocanegra said he wasn't going to be playing with us until January, but
gotcha. Okay.
And and the roster composition thing, because I think he has to take a senior
international
spot. Oh yeah, what's that international deal? Yeah, he can't do it for the international as well.
Okay.
He'll probably take Castro's international spot when he gets let go.
Let me get your score predictions in the trap, guys. We got Brittany S saying 2-1 Atlanta. She's being very hopeful. Elliot Bevan says 2-2 draw.
Wow.
Michelle saying 3-1 to Atlanta. I like it.
I hope, Michelle, I like it too. I doubt it, but I hope so.
Yeah. I'm going to go with another 1-1 draw. I think we steal 2 points from them.
I'm going for a very disappointing 3-1 loss.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, sorry.
You heard it here first. Dan's an Orlando supporter now. It's his favorite team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love grape soda.
Oh, it is good. I do like grape soda. It's delicious. Yeah. Man, when was the last time you drank a grape soda?
Man, probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. What's your favorite fruit flavored soda to close out the show?
I've got to go with just like orange. I love Sunkist or Fanta, something like that. It's kind of lame. That's what I like. Got my little diabetes bottle of Sunkist.
What is the what about have you ever had the Sidral Mundet?
The what?
It's apple soda, and you can get it at taquerias a lot of the time.
Never had that one. Though I do like the San Pellegrino lemon. That's delicious. In fact, all of the San Pellegrino stuff is good.
Yeah, Elliot Bevan says orange soda, it's still the best. Michelle saying strawberry. That's not. And then Brittany is saying peach. I asked the wrong question.
Peach, nah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brittany S.
Yeah.
It's just too sweet for me. I don't like it too sweet. Chiefs coach Steve down May of Cuties. Yep, I do.
Yeah, he definitely has cooties. All right. Oh, blackberry spindrift. That's not fruit soda though. It's like it's a spicy water.
It's also spicy water, exactly.
Yeah,
spicy water.
But it has like 10 calories in it, so you think you're maybe drinking soda, but yeah.
What's yours, Tim?
I think I like that that apple soda. That shit's good.
Oh, the apple soda.
Yeah, that's good. Either that or oh shit, what is it called? Tahitian Treat. Have you ever had Tahitian Treat?
Mm-mm.
It's like a carbonated fruit punch soda.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. I have to say my favorite it's a grapefruit soda from Jamaica, and it's called Ting, and it's the best. I used to find it in Publix, and they would sell it in the international aisle, and they would only stock it like once a month. But when I saw it, man, I would get a whole bunch of bottles of that. That was delicious.
Oh, Well, that's a good call. To see if I can find that. All right. You got anything else, Dan?
I don't, Tim.
Okay. I think that's it for me too. Thank you guys for taking a part out of your week, as always, to listen to us, to watch us, to smash a like button for us, to subscribe for us. We love you guys every single week. We appreciate that you guys show out and you guys listen to us blather back and forth for an hour. And it makes our week. Dan, for the people who want to follow you outside of just listening to this podcast, where can they do that?
You can find me at DNJMS. And I've lost a follower, so you can be my new 260th follower.
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You can find me at Tim Herb. I'm only on Instagram, but you can also find us at Home Before Dark. That's B and the number 4 on Twitter. Find us on all your podcatchers, your Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating, a review. We'll read it aloud. Tell a friend, rate, subscribe, brag about it. I don't know how you would brag about it, but we love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, be home before dark.
Okay, first of all, fuck you, Kevin.
Yes! I completely forgot to play that.
I was